Welcome back to our channel, guys. For you new people, it's winter time, so we're doing some Q&A garage stuff lately, but we try to do a travel channel where we take motorcycle trips together and have a good time. If you want to watch that kind of stuff, we did a really good trip back in September. Click the link up here. It's called 2,000 Miles in the Sun. We have a playlist here on YouTube, and it was an awesome trip with some really good scenery. So if you're more interested in riding, check that out. But if you want to know a little bit about us, stay tuned and we'll answer some of your questions.
Because we literally have nothing else to do.
So last week we asked you guys to ask us some questions, anything you wanted to know, and these are the answers to those questions. So I'll let Lady Devil start it off here, and we'll try to have some fun and enjoy the sun at the same time.
And the wind. Okay, the first question. Podge J wants to know, why doesn't Mrs. Lady Devil ride? Has she ever thought of getting a bike license? So I actually get this question quite a lot. I don't have any interest in doing that right now. I'm pretty lazy and I like to let Brian here do all the work. I like to video from the back. I like to relax and enjoy the ride. So I'm not going to say never, I'll never do that. Maybe I will in the future, but as of right now, I'm not planning on getting my own motorcycle. So
You really enjoy the Queen seat, right?
I do. That's my seat.
And I enjoy her filming from the Queen seat. That way, when we're done with the trip or whatever, I can look at the scenery, because the whole time we were doing it, I was staring at the highway.
Okay, next question is from Motorcycle Mama. She wants to know, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you two live? Should we say it on three?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Arizona.
We don't really like the cold. We live in Nebraska, and we get about 4 months of good weather where it's warm and you can get the bike out and stuff. The rest of the year it's cold, rainy,
Sucks.
snowing. The wind's blowing 400 mile an hour. If you guys have never been out in the prairie, Nebraska, eastern Colorado area, South Dakota, it gets pretty windy, and it just gets old after a while. So I know it's windy in Arizona too, but they have 8 months of good weather. So,
And prettier sights. There's not much to see here.
yeah.
It's all just cornfields and
Yeah, we got to ride about 7 hours to see anything worthwhile.
seeing.
We like to sightsee. We like to see things, and the only thing around here is corn.
and cows.
All right, LB12541 asks, do you have a dealer in your town, or how far is the closest, and do you wrench on your bikes yourself? I wrench on my bikes myself as much as I can and have time for. I can do a lot of stuff myself, but that doesn't mean I always will do it. Sometimes I'm lazy, sometimes I'm busy. So at that point in my life where I work a lot and things like that, sometimes it's easier to just have them work on it. But I do a lot of the smaller things myself. I do my own oil changes and stuff like that. But if I get too involved in stuff, I'll just let them do it. That being said, they're an hour away. So if I need them to do it, it takes a whole
A day, pretty
logistic
much.
thing to figure out how I'm going to get it there. 'Cause I don't have a trailer. I've never trailered my bike, so getting it there, I usually have to ride it, and I either have to sit there and wait, or drop it off, have her drive there with me, and it's like a whole day. So, all right, next question. Peter Daw asks, what would be the most user-friendly software to have as a beginner doing YouTube, and where would you purchase or download it, and how much? I use DaVinci Resolve to do all my editing. I started out, it's a free program, or they have a paid version. I ended up getting the paid version, which was $300. The free version does pretty much everything you need it to do. I pretty much just paid for it so I could do my particle intro and stuff like that. And there's a couple other things that I ran into where I couldn't do it with the free version. But as a beginner, I wouldn't say that's the best software for a beginner. There's a pretty steep learning curve to it. But that being said, it's the only one I've ever used, and it's because it was free. I know some other motovloggers and stuff use Wondershare Filmora, and I've heard good things about that as far as ease of use, but I have personally never used it. I guess, there's Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere Pro. I've never used either one of those either, but there's some options there if you want to try a bunch of different ones out.
Okay, Redding, Ohio wants to know, actually his wife would like to know, if Lady Devil ever has issues with her helmet pulling her hair above her forehead. If so, what was the fix? I've never had that kind of problem, but I have had issues with my helmet. So if you guys have been following us for a while, you know that we have a Shoei Neotech 2. It started out good, but it's not the greatest helmet for me. My head is shaped weird, so I always have pain on the top of my head. But as far as the helmet pulling the front of my hair, I don't have that problem, but...
I actually have had that problem.
Oh, well, there you go. You answer.
Yeah, so I guess that can be for either one of us.
Either
since
long
we both
hair.
have long hair. But make sure your helmet fits right. You don't want it too loose. You want to be able to take it and try to move it on your head, and you want it to kind of move your skin on your head without moving your head. So maybe it's a little bit too loose and it's sitting there funny. I don't remember what my problem was. It was a Shoei RF 1000, which is actually my motovlog helmet now, but I don't wear it enough to have the issue anymore. But it's a little small, so I guess just check your fit. Make sure that's good. Make sure it's not too loose, not too tight. I got it a little bit like where my part is in the middle, right in here, and yeah, I know what you're feeling. It sucks. It hurts. Also, there's different shapes. You have round helmets, you have intermediate ovals, and then you have ovals. So you need to maybe take a picture of the top of your head and see what your actual head shape is, and try to find a helmet that fits that shape of your head. I'm an intermediate oval, so the Shoei fits me really well. Her head is more oval, which I think is why her Shoei doesn't fit all that great. So I think we're going to have to probably look into some other different option for her for a helmet that's a little longer to fit her giant brain.
It's full of knowledge. Okay, Will asks, do you both ever just take off for the weekend with no direction?
All the time.
Yes.
The destination rides are cool, but there's a lot of times we'll just jump on the bike and just go.
Just go. Mm-hmm.
And we kind of end up wherever we end up, and that's
Those are the best rides.
it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can overplan a trip, and if you got it down to, well, we got to be here at this time and here at this time, it takes the fun out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Back before Lady Devil and I were together, my dad and I used to ride a lot, and we never had a destination ever. We just jump on and say, hey, let's just head north, and we'd get, I don't know, 8 hours away and grab a camping spot, throw up a tent, and ride 8 hours home the next day. Mm-hmm. It's fun. Whenever you get to a town or something like that, you find a local place to eat. We don't do chains when we're on the road, so it's kind of fun in that aspect to check out the local food and different little cafes and diners and stuff.
Okay, Stuart VE wants to know, can you give some information on the camera clamp you are using on your handlebars?
Oh, it's it's a GoPro clamp, and there's a little strap on it that, if you watched, obviously this question's coming from that motovlog, and I forgot to tighten that strap. So the thing was, it kept like falling down, and I don't use it all that often, so I kind of forgot the strap was there. But it holds pretty tight if you have that strap on a round bar. It holds pretty tight if you have that strap pulled. Now, my motor bouncer shot on my Street Bob, so it does vibrate a lot more, which was contributing to the fact that it was moving. But it's good for a non-permanent mount. I think eventually for that bike, I'm going to get a taller bar, and then I'll probably get Zero 3D's perch mount for the camera on there. And the bars will get it up a little higher where I need it. And then that mount should be short enough where I won't get a lot of vibration at the top of the camera. It's a decent option for quick on-the-go motovlogs.
Okay, Big Ken 62 wants to know, what or who got you into motorcycling, and what was your first bike?
My dad got me into motorcycling originally, and my first bike was a little Honda Mini Trail 50. And here's a picture of me on that bike. It was super fun to ride when I was a kid, and it's still super fun to ride. I haven't had it out in a few years, but that's what I learned to ride on. It didn't even have it had a clutch, but you didn't need it. It just had three little gears, and yeah, I don't know. I was probably 8 or 9, I guess, when I started riding that thing. So.
Okay, next question. Pinhead Sid wants to know, did you and Lady Devil meet at your work, or were you already in a relationship when one or both started there? We've been in a relationship for 10 years. It feels like
75 years.
days, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we were both in the relationship before we started working at the company we're at now.
So to elaborate on that, we met in probably 2007, and we were just kind of friends for probably 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I worked at the current company, but she did not work there, so I eventually...
Brought me to the dark side.
Yeah, yeah. She's kicking me for it still.
Uh-huh. Kahuna wants to know, do you guys have any plans or schedule for what you're doing or going when this is all over?
The only thing we have scheduled concretely is Sturgis. Mm-hmm. And is it really that concrete right now? I don't know. I would venture to say this will probably be blown over by the time Sturgis gets here. Hopefully. But if that doesn't happen, who knows? We do have a couple other trips planned loosely, but I'm not going to say anything about those because I don't really know if it's going to happen or not. So, no, everything's just kind of up in the air right now, unfortunately. So we'll probably do a lot of local day trips and weekend trips this year to start it out. And then if this thing blows over,
go from there.
Yeah, we'll go from there.
Gary Smith asks, have you two made any plans to come down to K River in Moyers, Oklahoma later this year?
Next question. There might be something in the works. We'll keep you updated.
Toxic Riders wants to know, there's a couple questions in here.
Right.
First one, do you ever go to Husker games? Yes.
Yeah, we go to, one a year maybe? I prefer to watch them on TV just so I can go pee.
And yell at the TV.
And yell at the TV.
And then the second one is, how do you deal with the bugs in the summertime?
Oh, it's rough. Depending on what bugs they are.
Yeah.
In September-ish, like fall time is maybe the worst because we get the grasshoppers, locusts, and they're really juicy.
Very juicy.
There's lots of them. And so I don't know if they feed on the corn remnants, or I don't really know. But if we're riding with somebody and they're in front of us, that bike kicks them all up in the air, and then I hit them all. Because I don't love to lead. My dad likes to lead. Usually we're riding with my dad if we're, cruising around. But those are the worst. The June bugs get kind of bad in late May through June, beginning of July. They're a really hard bug, so they hurt when you hit them. But now that we have full face, it's not so bad.
We're good. And then the next question is, do you guys hunt or fish?
No. I used to hunt and I used to fish, but it's not much of a hobby anymore. We just rather...
I like to eat fish.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge animal lover, so I don't like to see things killed or kill things. So not a big fan of hunting.
Yeah. We still eat meat.
Yeah, I know where it comes from, so relax. Okay, the next question. You play video games. What does Mrs. Devil do besides watching the corn for fun?
It's all you.
Oh, what do I like to do? I like to paint. I'm doing these paintings right now, kind of. It's going to sound weird, but I like to run and work out when I can. I like to cook. I'm a good cook, aren't I?
She is a good cook.
You
Yeah.
better say that.
That's why I'm fat.
So yeah, those are the things that I like to do for fun. I like to be outside when it's nice. I like to take our little puppy for, she's not a puppy, she's 15. I need to quit calling her a puppy. I like to take our dog for walks into the park and stuff. Have you ever thought about doing a meet and greet in Kearney or somewhere around the area?
I haven't really thought about that. I don't know if I'm popular enough on YouTube to have a little meet and greet, but it would be
someday.
fun to maybe this summer I'll set something up. We can meet and
Do a ride or something?
yeah. All right, next question is from BD Ryder. He asks, are you and Lady Devil born and raised in Nebraska, and have you ever thought of moving to someplace else? Well, we kind of answered the second part earlier. Hopefully someday we'll be Arizona residents.
But yes, we were both born and raised in Nebraska, unfortunately.
No, it was a good place to grow up, but now that we're older, we're finding less interest in the state. It's got high taxes and not a lot of activities, I guess,
Yeah.
to really make up for those taxes. So, yeah, we're keeping our eyes peeled for somewhere else to live. All right, Brian J. asks, where's your favorite ride and how far is it to get there? Oh, that's a tough question. There's probably the easiest ride to get to that would be my favorite. Closest one would be like Colorado Springs, Highway 50 from Canyon City into Salida. It's a great road.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite road. Just scenic wise, it's beautiful. It follows a river. But yeah, as far as favorites, nothing
All of them.
stands out. Yeah, it's all of them. Okay, Todd Archer asks, where are the trees, dude? There are no trees.
Not here.
This is the only tree in the whole state.
It's in our backyard.
Yeah. We've got a monopoly on the trees. No, the prairie is called the prairie for a reason. There's not a lot of trees here. There's a lot of grass. Man, you get central Nebraska to north Nebraska. You can go 10 miles without seeing a tree up there. It's got its own beauty of riding, for sure.
Arizona Ryder wants to know, did I see a Runza restaurant in your vlog? Yes, you did. We have a Runza restaurant in our town that we live in. We just had Runza yesterday, actually.
We did. Runza is a local, it's not a local,
Nebraska.
it's a Nebraska fast food chain. They have really good burgers, and you want to explain to everybody that doesn't know what a Runza is?
So a Runza is, it's beef and cabbage and sometimes carrots inside of bread, and it's amazing.
It's encapsulated in bread.
Is it a German dish? Is that what it, or German?
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's amazing.
They're pretty good, and there's cheese in them too, right? Yeah.
The Blue Bike and Doyle wants to know, what are your favorite pizza toppings?
Chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah. I like barbecue and chicken and like red onion. That's kind of my
Yeah,
thing.
that's good too.
I like the red onions. But we'll eat it. We'll eat anything. You put a pizza in front of us, and it'll be gone.
Yeah, we go to a place in Kearney, where we talked about earlier, called Platte Valley Brewery, and they have really good oatmeal stouts, but they also have really good barbecued chicken pizza. So if you're ever in Kearney,
You have to
Nebraska.
get the two together.
yeah,
'Cause it
yeah,
just-
it pairs well. It's like wine and cheese.
Yes.
Pizza and dark beer.
Okay, the Blue Bike and Doyle also wants to know, what is the creepiest thing someone has said to y'all on here?
I will say the creepy guys get blocked. Like, I don't even mess around. Sometimes I'll let one slip through if I think maybe the guy's drunk or something. But if there's multiple comments from the same guy that are just like vulgar, you're out.
Disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not even going to say the worst thing that was said to her.
Yeah,
It was
people
pretty
are
bad.
gross and people are rude, and it's sad, but
Yeah. it's
thanks
that
for the
whole-
comments.
Yeah. I guess.
Okay, so here is our last question. Jim Petrick says, what's the draw to Nebraska? Just where family is, or is it just a home feeling? There really is no draw to Nebraska. We're just comfortable here right now. It is a home feeling.
Yeah, and our family, both of our families are here.
Very close.
They're close to us, which is nice sometimes. Just kidding, guys.
No, we're not.
But yeah, you know, it's born and raised here. It's hard to leave, I guess, and
We've got great jobs here, and you
Yeah.
know,
it's hard to leave a good job. You have to balance that, you know. Do you want to give up a little money for a little more freedom? I'm leaning towards yes. But it's just making that initial jump that's tough. So,
cutting the cord.
yeah, eventually
Yeah.
we won't be here. Hopefully we'll be in Arizona where it's a little prettier.
And the sun's out all the time.
Equally as windy and the sun's out. More, I don't know, is there more trees there? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I guess we just hate trees. We're gonna give up corn for cacti.
I'm ready.
Well, guys, thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for making it far enough in the last video to know that we wanted you to ask questions. And thank you for letting us just kind of hang out here in the sun and killing two birds with one stone, making a video and getting some vitamin D for the first time. It's
a long
supposed to
time.
be 50-mile-an-hour winds and 3 inches of snow tomorrow. So we're trying to soak this up as much as we can. These days they don't come around very often in early spring. But as I said earlier, if you want to watch some road trip videos, click that link above and check out our 2,000 miles in the sun. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.